Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Replay Megaman 03. In the last part, the Neo Arcadians started attacking us and now we're gonna have to go after some more of them. We've detected Neo Arcadian units moving through the Forest of Anatre. These forces must be intercepted as soon as possible. Can you intercept? Sure. Now, no, actually I'll mention that later. I actually really like this stage. Why? It's pretty much just a gigantic tribute to 02. Because we got pretty much almost exactly reused sprites from 02, I believe. The second forest level in 02 had the orange leaves, right? I forget. I'd say that's a bad thing considering 02 was only 2 LPs ago. But at the same time, Klonoa took a bit to record. Plus, I've been kind of procrastinating with this series as it is for personal time. We actually get a remix of the forest theme stage from 02 as well. I'm not sure which theme it is, but it's one of them. I recognize the bass beat. General rule of thumb is that whenever you find a single-digit number, it's likely either a backstory thing or a chip. Like, that is actually going to be a head chip for later. Also, I know I'm very late mentioning this, but for beating Death Tan's Mantisk, we got the light body chip. What that does is that if there's a floor that collapses underneath your weights, it won't collapse. Mind you, that gimmick only appears in like 2 stages in this game, so it's nothing too useful. Turns to green, though. Anyway, the big gimmick with this stage is that there are switches that move walls around, which is imperative to use to your advantage in order to get some secret discs and even the second natural sub-tank. You do need to use your Recoil Rod for this, so if you haven't been using it throughout the game, well, here's the opportunity to use it. Well, actually, that's not true technically. For a lot of them, you can just use your own weight. But I recommend using the Recoil Rod for when you can. In fact, the Recoil Rod gets a good amount of use in this stage because it's a little... the jump you do when you do a down charge is pretty useful. You know, some people that I know actually find the fact that they brought back Mavericks from 01 back like this kind of lazy. I don't mind it that much. Why? Well, I'll get more into this later in the game, but the thing is, 03 was actually supposed to be the last game in the series. That becomes very evidently clear in, towards the later part of the game, and even some things in 04 pretty much make it seem very clear. But I'll get more into that when I beat the game. Probably in 3 or 4 parts. I'm assuming this is going to be around 9 parts, because the original LP was about 10. God, that was like 2 or 3 years ago now. That's pretty scary to think about. Meanwhile, pretty much the only thing that's really improved is my audio quality. Though I apologize for the last part, because I was listening in the last part, and I seemed kind of quiet. I'm blaming the fact that I've been having a fan going in the past couple of videos, because it's currently summer, which means it's really hot. Especially up in Florida, yeah, up in Massachusetts, where we either have really hot or really cold weather. Anyway, we're at the boss, so get your electric chip out, because he is still weak to that. My body has returned from decay. For Lord Vile who gave me life. I have returned, and now I will take your pitiful soul. Let's see you fight like a hero. Why was that 2 separate text boxes? Hanumachine, or Hanumachine R as he is here, likes to use his jumps quite a bit more to his advantage. He only really had like 1 of those attacks in 01, now he has 2 or 3. He still has those little mini monkeys he can do this little fire wheel still. He's pretty much the same boss, only with a few extra attacks. Still pretty easy, all things considered, but that's just because I know this game far too well. An impressive fight. However, evil must fail in the end. History will judge who the true winner was. May you perish, O ancient god of destruction. Ooh, I like that title. But yeah, not a very hard stage, and the boss is fairly easy. He has one of my favorite EX skills, though. Split Heavens. Rising Sun was a different game. First off, we got the auto recover headship, which means you can stay still and recover HP. But Split Heavens is pretty much the Ryu engine in this game. Press up in the attack button, you fly up in the air, and if you have the fire chip on, it gets fire elements. Fire traits. Also, CL has the same dialogue for all three of these missions. The auto recover chip is actually going to be the head chip I have on for the rest of the game, because it's really useful. Anyway, it's at this point in the game, once you get to these Neo Arcadian attacks, that Andrew has a bit of a quiz for us. He gives you a quiz on the story he told you in this game. He was a bread worker who went to a picnic, gave a girl a donut, who in return gave him a 3-leaf clover, and her name was... I don't know. And for doing that, you get secret disc number 107, which is 500 E-crystals, which is really good. Mind you, I already have, I think, 1,800? Yeah, around 1,800, so I already have enough, but... yeah, it's 1,800 more. And now it's time for another mission back to Anubis Necromancis. We have detected Neo Arcadian people moving through the words. It's pretty much the same dialogue with like 2 words different. Now, one little detail, I was going to get into this earlier, but I interrupted myself, that I like about what they did for the names of these guys is that they obviously made Hanumachine and Blizzak Staggeroff have an R at the end of their name, pretty much standing for Revived. But Anubis Necromancis is now Anubis Necromancis the 5th, where I think in 01 he was, I think, the 3rd or 4th. That's a detail I actually really like. Also, speaking of little details I like, this level's song is actually a pretty familiar theme. It's actually been present in all 3 games so far. It's not called For Endless Fight, which is a bit of a joke on For Everlasting Peace from Megaman Classic 1. You might be wondering where you heard this song before in the series. Well, it was 01's epilogue theme for when Zero was talking to X. And it's also the song that plays before Departure, the intro stage song rather, in 02. I still think my favorite mix of it is the 02 one, though, because this is a bit too quiet for my tastes. We also get the floaters, which are the little bomb enemies from the first 2 games. In their only appearance, in fact, I think almost all the enemies in this stage are from 01. Anyway, we got this annoying mini-boss. I have no idea what this thing's elemental weakness is, if it even has one. I've always just assumed Thunder because this seems to be a fire-type level, but I'm not sure. Just give it enough charge shots, it'll die eventually. It has a bit too much health for my tastes, though. Also, I think a bit of a fun fact in this stage is that almost every single texture is ripped right out of 01. Mind you, the desert was common in 02 as well, because the intro stage was a desert, but it was you can tell just by the quicksand, the graphic, that's the same as 01. Though this time, I mean, the quicksand actually does drag you in. I'm only putting the electric chip on because I know of a thing. But a weird little detail, by the way, when we get to Anubis Necromancis, is that, you might recall back in 01, I think he was weak to fire? Or was it ice? One of the 2. No, it was, yeah, I think he was weak to fire. But they actually changed his weakness for this game. He's now weak against the ice element. They actually lampshade that a bit, because, you remember the little attack that he had in 01 where he summoned 2 things to crush you? He still has that in this game, except this time it actually is done by magnetism instead, where he pulls his coffin in 2 pieces towards you. We also get these sprites reused rather lazily from 01 with the little beetle ships, which actually reminds me a lot of the Queen Bee enemies from X1. Anyway, time for the boss. I have been summoned by Lord Vile back from the Netherworld to continue my reign of terror. Ancient One, it is now your turn to lie beneath the soil. Back to the earth with you. As I just mentioned, Anubis is now weak to the ice element. And his attacks are largely the same. He can remodel the terrain this time around, though, into a couple of different variations, where you get different platform heights or quicksand, even. He still likes to fling his staff around in a couple different patterns this time around, and he still obviously has this little crushing attack. This is what lampshades that he's weak to ice this time around. However, this time around, I don't think he can make Pantheon zombies. Not a very hard boss. Pattern's pretty much the same as it was in 01, honestly. Except he does a couple more of these spear attacks before he goes back into the soil. Or sand, whatever. I hate sand. It's rough and coarse and it gets everywhere. You of the ancient soul. You have no place in the new world Lord Vile is creating. I will enjoy viewing your torment from my grave below. I don't know why I made him into a vampire. Oh well, I never have to voice him again. And keeping up that A-rank streak. I do believe your overall level is determined by your average, by the way, so be careful with that. Though I think your average resets when you do a New Game Plus. Think is a keyword. Anyway, with them gone, you might be wondering who's next. Well, first off, let's just talk to CL. Zero, what should I do? I never wanted to cause pain or grief to anyone. If only I never made the CL system, none of this would have ever happened. And I'm sorry, Zero. Everyone's doing their best out there fighting for us, yet I'm always here feeling sorry for myself. What do you need? Nothing. Let's talk to the operators and see who's next. Oh, that was quick. Yeah, I'm gonna need to go to the previous levels first so I can get sacred discs. Anyway, let's head after Copy X once again. We've analyzed the enemy's movements. As a result, we have succeeded in determining that the location of the Neo Arcadia HQ. It seems that Copy X and Vile are commanding the entire army from this base. If you strike here, you might be able to stop Neo Arcadia. Are you ready? Yeah, that Zero line was actually supposed to be the red operator game. That's like the only time they do that, too. It was a complete and total accident. Zero, come back safely, okay? And sadly, they replaced the Neo Arcadia music. Mind you, this is still a really kick-ass track, I'm not gonna lie. Doesn't stop me from missing the Neo Arcadia theme from 01 and 2. Anyway, this is probably the insta-death haters' least favorite level. Because there are spikes everywhere. It's like Megaman 4 up in here, honestly. There's a lot of opportunities for instant death, be it the spikes or the fact that these platforms can actually crush you. Mind you, it's against spikes, so that'd be instant kill anyway, but still. We also get these little laser sequences, which summon these guys to you. I don't think you can get their secret disc in this stage, though. Thankfully, I don't think getting spotted by these things lowers your mission score at all. It's kind of weird, honestly. Some missions in all 4 games, for their mission score, just have you beating the level, whereas others do have you fulfilling certain requirements. I'm not sure how I feel about that, because it seems kind of inconsistent. Anyway, the horizontal section of spikes isn't that bad. It's the vertical one that sucks. Though I only now realize, where are we if we're already going into the sky like that? That's kind of weird. I remember my original Let's Play, this level actually caused me a lot of grief, too. Also, I mentioned something, the CL system, it's obviously been mentioned a couple times by this point, but it actually stands for something. I forget what that is. You know what? I'm actually going to get CL's page up on the wiki to get that up. Here we are. The CL system is actually short for Convergent Ignition by Energen Linkage. So she's not a complete narcissist by naming it after her. Some other interesting trivia about CL is actually, she was originally intended to be a cyborg. I don't know. You can actually see that to some extent because she does look kind of robotic at some points. Yeah. Honestly, this stage, other than just being red and having a lot of instant death, doesn't have much going for it. I think it's the only stage where you can get these blue guys' secret discs, but I'm not entirely sure about that because I don't care about them. Though, it's weird. I said I wasn't going for 100% secret discs, yet I have like 100 of them already. Keep in mind there's a total of 180, so... Actually, I think I have around 110 total. There's there's 2 secret discs to the left of there, actually, but I'm going straight for the boss because I don't feel like doing that in this run. So you've come, Zero. Do you know what you're doing? You're helping extremists. Why would a legendary hero help an evil army? So you're saying that we're an evil army, and you people are fighting for justice? Exactly right. Almost all humans support our cause. All humans dream of defeating the extremists. What value is there in justice that complacent humans seek? Who cares about that? Neo Arcadia is doing what's right. That is enough proof that what we do is just... Alright, Copy X Mk.II is actually very similar to his predecessor in 01. Has a lot of charge attacks, can do various dash attacks, has various elements he can use against you. I don't think his weakness switches, because I don't think he actually has an element that he goes with. And he can also recover quite a bit of HP this time around. I'm not even sure what his EX skill is, because he just has so many attacks, honestly. I do like the design, though. The Ultimate Armor design in this series was always pretty cool to me. Honestly, not a very hard fight, but he has a lot of attacks, so you should really keep your eyes open to what he's doing. And keep your health fairly high. I've honestly never seen that attack before. No! Why? I'm a hero. I fight for justice. Vile! Dr. Vile! Use Omega! Crush him in your hand. He's no longer here. Who are you? X. X. You're my original form? Vile has moved to another base. With Omega. Vile was using you for his own purpose. Gee. Everyone treats me like a fool. I won't stand for it. Let me show you my true power. Ah! Oh no. Vile placed a trap on your body. Gee, get. I can't move. Get. Ah! Yowza! That was the thing. We got the quick foot chip though, which I think doubles your warning speed. And we got Reflect Laser, which I think is actually the attack you use at the very end there. Not a very terribly hard mission, aside from the fact that there's instant death everywhere. And the boss is actually a really fun one. Vile knew from the start how the things would turn out, so he must have rigged a trap on him. To fulfill his true ambition.
Hear me, citizens of the great land of Neo Arcadia. I must inform you of sorrowful news.
Dr. Vile.
Just now, our hero Master X was taken by bloodthirsty extremists, and he has sadly passed away. So in accordance with Ordinance Number 8, I, Dr. Vile, will become your new leader. It is time to put a stop to these extremists. Thank you all. I have just confirmed your approval. I will now have to ask you all to do a number of things. Neo Arcadia cannot know true peace until the extremists are eradicated. Let us all fight together until they are wiped out.
It's all going according to his plans. Dr. Vile, will he try to repeat the tragedy of the Elf Wars that ended a century ago? I'll look for Vile. I need you to help. Okay. I'll look for him too. I wanted to say something about Omega. What is it? Well, never mind. I'll bring it up again when the time comes. The heart is what counts, not the body. The heart? Well, everything went from pretty bad to absolute shit, huh? So this is what it has come to. Dr. Vile is the real of Neo Arcadia. Those humans haven't been told a thing. No, that's not it. They haven't tried to learn a thing. Lives with plenty of food and comforts. People have stopped bothering to think with their heads. There may still be some people who want to do something. If we could somehow let those kinds of people know what Dr. Vile's really thinking, we might be able to change Neo Arcadia. Who is this Dr. Vile anyway? What has he been doing since he reappeared? If you can gather some information, we might be able to analyze it to determine where he is presently and what he's been doing until now. Okay. Where do I need to go? Just tell me. Yes, but first, I'll save our data, blah blah blah. We isolated some locations for you to gather information. Let's not select a mission now, because with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 6, we'll be going after some new Vials numbers. Yay! See you guys then.